Hey guys, Rachele here with Amethyst Ascension. If you are new here, welcome, and if you are returning, thank you so much for joining me again. So today's video is going to be about Book of Shadows / journals for the Witchy Wisdom Wednesdays. I believe this is week number, is it 7? Week number 7? I think it is. Don't quote me on it. The correct information will be, in the video description, all that good stuff. So, Witchy Wisdom Wednesdays is a collaboration that is done with several different channels. Those being Jessica from Pagan Pathways, Summer from AstariaSen, Jasmine from Earth Spiderweaver, and Cindy from ThatTarotLady, and myself. And possibly the next round we will have a couple more, or maybe you if you want to join us. What we do is every time we do another round, each person that is part of the collaboration picks a particular subject. Okay, and then each one of us does our part of that particular subject. And, we touch on that topic in our Wednesday video. The reason that we are doing this, Jessica from Pagan Pathways is the one that started this, and she had contacted me. But the reason that we are doing this is so that people can see many different witches and their takes on stuff, just to show each person has a different path or perception or belief, but it doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just their path. There's just different ways of showing the same thing, and that is okay. That's wonderful, actually. If we were all the same, how boring would that be, right? Okay, so this one is a hard topic for me because... And this was one that Summer picked over at AstariaSen. And if you have watched her channel, she does the cutest little journaling every month. And it's so cute, seriously. But I just, journaling is a difficult one for me because I have stuff all over the place. I don't have one particular book of shadows. I might have 10 different books of shadows. So, and for different purposes. So, like, for instance, I want to possibly get into junk journaling, but I'm really not good at that stuff. So, what I have been doing is, like, finding pages that I either get for free or that I purchase. And I do purchase quite a bit off of, like, Etsy. And I will put a couple of links to a couple of different places for you in the description of where I do purchase some of my different artwork and stuff like that, and filler pages and all that. And I use an HP Instant Ink. It's like a monthly program depending on how much you pay. And I think we pay like $5 a month for like 100 pages. Don't quote me on that because I'm not 100% sure. But they'll send you the ink. That's part of the ink. And then you send back the... I mean, it's just so cost effective. And I think my printer was like $50, and it works with that. And it's a full color printer. And so, even if you just stayed within your 100 pages for $5 a month, that's 100 full color pages that you can print off for that amount of money. I believe that's how much it is. So it is definitely very cost effective in order to be able to do this kind of stuff or junk journaling or what have you. So I wanted to talk about that. Also, watch out for Jessica's video on this particular topic because she made the most wonderful PDF prompt file for anyone that is looking to really expand on their Book of Shadows, but they just maybe don't know where to go with it. So it's wonderful. I mean, I know she stayed up really late, I think a couple of nights in order to pull this off, and it just came out wonderful. So definitely be watching for her video. So I want to show you some of the things that I do. Here's one. And I love this so much. But the problem is, I haven't used it. Why? Because I'm afraid of ruining it. So, let me show you the Book of Life. It's nice, thick leather. And look at all the pages. I will eventually use it. I'm probably going to fill this up with actual spell work. Just like actual spells that I've done, probably written out, but it's just a matter of finding the time. So I have like things here and there. Sorry, I didn't mean to bump that. So I have things, you know, here and there, sheets of paper. That's why this is a really hard one for me. Here's another one. You guys have seen this one. You know, it's got different stuff in here. This is like another, I would say, like a book of shadows, because it has information that is important to me that I had accumulated over some time. And it's in different areas too. There's more stuff in the back. Anywho, so that's another, just showing you another way. And then, or another thing that I have. And then I have, oh, let me pause it because the man's doing some, sorry, the man is doing some yard work. So this is my big Book of Shadows. Just a regular 3-ring binder. And I have a bunch of stuff in here. Tabs, labels, blessings, other stuff of importance. And, you know, printed off some other sheets for making like a smaller journal. You got your elements, other things. This is just one of them. I'm trying to get this back in here. It's big, it's heavy, but I like using the sleeve covers, which you can get those. Let me show you. You can get those at Walmart for 100 count. And I think this was like maybe $3 or $4. I mean, it was very inexpensive. So you can take like your art pages or something that you've made, whatever, put it in the sleeve, and there you go. I mean, it's really as simple as that. And I like that because as I am building my Book of Shadows, I want to be able to interchange what page where I put this or that. Maybe the order. Maybe I think like Astrology is going to be better next to... One second. Okay, sorry. I just had a call and a text. So anyway, where I was at with that is there are tons of different things that, like for instance, this pile that I have been keeping in here because I haven't separated that into it yet. So I have tons of pages from the subscription boxes that I have done, like the Witch's Roots and the Witch's Moon. So of course, those I want to put all into my Book of Shadows. And then, you know, like spells. Also, sorry, let me pause it again. So difficult making a video with everybody home. My apologies. So another thing that I wanted to put into my Book of Shadows, and my apologies. So other things that I want to put into my Book of Shadows, or one of my Books of Shadows, is like all of the 8 clairs. I did a series on that, and this goes on talking about all the different signs for each of those, and talks about what all 8 of them are, which are clairvoyance, claircognizance, clairaudience, clairempathy, clairsentience, clairtangency, clairsalience, and clairgustance. So, and there's pages on each one of those. So I wanted to put those in my Book of Shadows, and information on the moon phases. And I did a spread, created a spread from the story, May We All Be Coffee. I love it is a very beautiful, inspirational story. I love that. So I want that to go into my Book of Shadows. The story of Bacchus and the gemstone Amethyst. Eventually I want to do a series on the different gemstones. It's just a matter of finding the time. Seriously. I have so many different things going. The video that I did on how to raise your vibration and all the different things that you can do, like gratitude, love, generosity, meditation, yada, yada, yada. So I want that to go into my Book of Shadows. Information like a guide on helping with the Mercury retrograde. Information on gemstones, birthstones. Spreads that I have either created or that others have that I really, really love. Like this on destiny numbers and how to come to a destiny number. So I also have other numerology information, different spreads that I use that are all in here that I have printed out that I want to put in there. So that's just another aspect of it. Information on numerology associated as well as astrology associated with the tarot. And I did that in the 78 Days of Tarot. Let me pause this again. My apologies. So essentially what I'm getting to is, you know, Book of Shadows for me is just, I mean, there's not one. It's not one thing. I have my planner here. That is my tarot. I've got the past life that I did for myself and my weekly stuff. So, I mean, that's kind of like a Book of Shadows for me in order to reflect on. I've got my dream journal. I've got this, which has color associations and gemstone healing properties. All this stuff that I accumulated, when I was doing the jewelry. And jewelry making, wire wrapping, information about the different wires, the metals, the sizes, shapes. All that is all part of old tutorials. All that is all part of what I would consider my Book of Shadows. I have a Wheel of the Year book that I am creating with different stuff in there as well. Correspondences. Oops. Sorry. Different correspondences with each of, and I'm building on it because, as you know, I'm fairly new to the actual practicing bit of it. I do have another one, and I can't remember where I put it. And it's like a tarot. It's got like printed off pages for each of the major arcana. I'm not sure what I did with that. And then I have books like these that you can get for $5, just plain old hard copy journals. Okay, that one's blank. Which one is it? I have one, oh yes, with tarot spreads, which is divination, which is important to me. So I have old interviews in here. And towards the back, I have different kinds of spreads that I really, really like. And then I've got a lot of blank pages because that's more that I still have to fill in. But this is going to be mainly just a journal for like tarot spreads and tarot interviews. The interviews are towards the front and I'm working from the back so that they meet in the middle for all of the tarot spreads themselves. So I also have, let me show you. Let me pause this a second. So this is part of my corner. I'm still working on, you know, filling the jars and getting some new labels. I've still got other jars that I have to fill up. But all of these herbal and floral art pages that I got from the Witch's Roots and or Witch's Moon, those will eventually be going into, I've got my little arrow garden here. Okay. I apologize, this is so choppy, but I really didn't know how else to do this. So here's some more that are not in a book yet, because I want to create just the most wonderful herbal grimoire. And there's more. I've got them in different areas. You know, I try to be organized, but sometimes you get distracted, especially when there's a whole bunch going on around you and there's a whole bunch of people and you forget where you put it the last time. So it's time to do some reorganization again. And, you know, you have artwork from, this is why I love the Witch's Moon and the Witch's Roots so much, because you can use this into a book of shadows if you want, especially like the sleeves that I showed you, and put it into a 3-ring binder, make it your own, decorate it, you know, put a new fabric around the outside of it. You know, it's your own. And for me, the Book of Shadows is just about finding a place where you have so much of your information. But the problem is I have accumulated so much information, it's hard to put it into just one thing. So I have several different things that I would consider. You know, that's another Witch's Moon. And I put it in a frame. And I have those all over the place as well. But I would consider so many different things my books of shadows. So, I mean, even down to, you know, books that you read, that you just regular read, that now have all of your, like, herbal correspondences, or, like, for instance, the green, where is it? Like this book right here. This is not like one of those kind of books that you sit down and you just read through it like it's a good read. This is very much like a reference guide with so much information in it. You know, like divination and spell work and days of the week that are best for using this, color associations, runes, oghams, numerology, number divination. I mean, there's just so much in here. It is a wonderful resource. It's not like a book that you read from beginning to end. So yes, I would consider this also a book of shadows, because it is so much information accumulated at my fingertips, regardless of whether or not I wrote it myself. So this is a book of shadows that I have. So, like I said, like I was saying, a dream journal, that's important to me. So anyways, I'm going to try and cut this down a little bit because it's been all over the place. And I'm sorry, that's the best that I can say for a book of shadows, because I don't have just one book of shadows that covers everything. I have so many books and so many journals for different things, just because there's so much information. It's crazy. And if you're like me and you're scattered and you have things all over the place, that's okay. You know, I think before, you know, when the Book of Shadows were started, and don't quote me on this because I don't know, but I would think that it was more about having all of your stuff that meant something to you all in one place, and easy, because in case you had to hide it or whatever. Well, hopefully those days are gone, and we don't have to rely just on one book. We can rely on the library of books that we have, and the amount of information that we have accumulated, and our own personal journals, and, you know, your dream journal, and, you know, books on crystals and properties and color associations and astrological books and numerology books. And you get where I'm going with this. So I hope you have enjoyed this. I hope you jump on and do this as well. The hashtags will be in, you know, it's Witchy Wisdom Wednesdays, and I believe it's hashtag BOS journal or journals. And I'm sending you love and light.